I mean, if we look to the short term and tomorrow, do you hope that players can embrace the challenge, knowing it's a game they have to win?
They've known that for a long period of time, so the thing that's gone now is the lives, in terms of there's no slip ups now. I felt for the last 5 games we had to win at least 3 and draw 1, and obviously Saturday we get on the wrong end of a refereeing decision, and we're already a goal down at that point, and it gave us an enormous mountain to climb in an already very, very tough predicament. So we've got to win Tuesday night. I think if we don't win Tuesday night, it's going to be nigh on impossible, and I think that's the focus for me, is winning Tuesday night, and then let's see where that takes us. If we don't win Tuesday night, then we're going to be in a very, very tight spot. But momentum in football is key, and you get one win, then it may lead to other things. But the focus for us has to be winning that game in our stadium on Tuesday.
Yeah, Ed Upson sent off on Saturday. Is that something you've considered appealing?
Yeah, I've watched the incident back numerous times from a number of different camera angles, and I'm still none the wiser in terms of what the referee's seen. We'll obviously be appealing it today. I haven't spoke to Ed, and we prepared statements kind of off the back of that, from an admin perspective, because we're really light in that area, and we need all hands on deck. We need every single player available that we can, because of the state of play of the league table. So whether that's successful or not, I suppose we'll find out at some point this afternoon. They usually tend to go with the official, even if the official's made an error, unless it's an absolutely glaring obvious one. I'm not sure, based on the camera angles I've seen, whether there's enough evidence there one way or the other, but we'll find that out at some point, and then we'll have to pick a team to go and win the game on Tuesday.
Any other team news you can share? Anyone in or out from Saturday?
Well, we've got a few not training today, so Brandon's going to need a scan on his hip. Luke McCormack won't train today. Anstey's not going to train today. We've got, hopeful they'll all be fine for Tuesday, but some who again will be assessed tomorrow morning, and then we'll have to see where we are there, and hopefully, as I say, I think all the boys want to play, and hopefully they get the medical kind of sign off to be in a position to play, because there's no tomorrow.
And how do you assess the challenge that MK Dons will pose? They're 12th in the table. They beat Portsmouth on Saturday. Yeah,
they're in and outside, as the league table suggests. I think they've dominated possession for most of the games that they've played in. I haven't watched the Pompey game back just yet. I'll watch that today at some point, but obviously watch them live against Lincoln during the weekend. A side that will give you opportunities, but also can play some really good stuff and keep the ball for long periods if you're not very cohesive in the way you want to press them. So a team that, if you want to stay in the division, you've got to beat. A team that haven't really nothing to play for, in terms of they're not going to go up and they're not going to go down, and a team that if you're fighting for your life and you need to win, then if you don't beat them, you're in a tight spot. And I think I've said before, if you get relegated, you deserve it.
Given what's at stake and even more injuries you were just going through, are you feeling as calm as you sound this morning, or is any bit of Joey Barton feeling pressured by the threat of relegation?
No, nobody wants to get relegated, but I knew it was a possibility coming here. I haven't seen the team from a distance, and brought teams to play against Rovers in the past, and certainly last season we brought a team down that won relatively comfortably at the Mem. So you were totally eyes open in terms of what you were getting yourself involved in. But I didn't come here just for this season. I signed a 2.5-year deal. This season, keeping the team in the division was obviously the priority. The fact that we were on, I'm the third manager here, and the transfer window had closed. You knew you were going to be doing it with somebody else's players, somebody else's personnel, and that's never ideal. But I was prepared to chip in, and my coaching staff were prepared to move away from our families and come down here and help the football club try to stay in the division. And that is still an aim. It's still something that we can achieve. If we take maximum points, albeit we'll have to do something that we haven't done at any point in the season before, which is win 4 games on a spin. But whilst there's fighting us, we'll be fighting tooth and nail to make sure we keep the club up. And as I say, for me, realistically, that has to be the aim short term. Obviously, there's medium and long term aims, but they don't come under consideration right now until we've fought with everything we've got to win this game Tuesday night.
And just finally, it's off topic, but on topic, given the money that comes down from the Premier League, how should a Rovers fan feel waking up to the news of a potentially breakaway European Super League?
I think the same way as all of us football fans felt this morning. When I got up 6 o'clock this morning, I was making my cup of tea, waiting for my lift to pick me up, and you've seen the news, and I've seen the mutants about it over the last couple of days. I just think it's sad. I think it's really, really sad, but I think it is an indicament of where the game's at this moment. We've got people who, and I've wrote about this and spoke about this for at least, I reckon, a decade. I always felt they were going to go down an NFL model. I always felt they were going to try and close the shop, because that was the only way that these multi-billionaire owners could turn these, football and community clubs and into franchises that generate, millions and millions of pounds. And it will ruin the English pyramid. There's absolutely no doubt about that. I think the legacy of these 6 clubs making these decisions will have incredible ramifications across the game in this country, and probably the rest of the global game enormously. So, the community aspect of football clubs, I think, can be lost. Certainly when you get into the hundreds and millions, billions of the kind of top flight. And we've got to remember what, our badge has got 1883 on, and we've got to remember what football clubs were set up for, who they were set up by, and what was the purpose of them. It wasn't for billionaires from different continents to come in and line their own pockets and make these brands. It wasn't for that. It was ex-miners, it was socialist communities, it was groups of people who have a vested interest in their local community, coming together, and football clubs grew out off the foundation of that. And I think I'm fortunate to work for a football club who's just won Community Club of the Year, who's very much embedded in its local community, and one of my key aims, as well as building a very, very successful football team for the club and for the fan base, is to make sure that they're already number one in the community now, and to make sure that we get better and even further that. And that'll be a huge responsibility for all of the players from next season, when the law is laid down to them about what it's going to be. I've already spoken to you about, I think it's very, very important that the players live within the city. I think it's massively important that they embed themselves in the local community, because football clubs, surely we've realised in the last year, certainly in the midst of the pandemic, just how important the football fan is, and just how important football clubs can be to their local communities. And I think the decision by 6 of our 92 clubs is a slap in the face for all the hard work of the thousands, hundreds of thousands of people over the last 120, 130 years. And I've heard comments from Gary Neville yesterday and other well-respected figures in the game, and I think they're spot on. I think I sit here as a very, very wealthy individual off the back of the Premier League being formed and the money that football has been able to generate in recent years. But also we must remember that the Premier League was a breakaway from the old Football League, but it was always endorsed by the Football Association, and I think the Premier League on the whole has improved the well-being of the football pyramid. It's allowed a lot more money to cascade down through the football pyramid, and has helped keep probably lots of local and smaller kind of community-based clubs alive. And I think we could do it a lot better. I think it could be done a lot better so that we do have a more healthier ecosystem. And again, I think this move by, the 6, in our country, and obviously the 6 from Italy and Spain is very, very worrying for the football pyramid as we know it in England.